might be the most relaxing place I've found in Tokyo. It's a tiny little Zen garden that's had decades of work put into it. And the theme of my thinking now that I'm here is the idea of a digital samurai. I think it's kind of perfect that the word samurai ends with AI, which is obviously the two-letter acronym that he's using to describe artificial intelligence and this new move into new kinds of technology that thinks for us. In many ways, reflecting on my life since I got access to the internet, it is that of a digital samurai. It is a path where you learn how to wield the internet and wield software and wield atoms to your benefit, or people who are much more skilled than you can wield them over you. The Instagram algorithm is stronger than my mind. The Twitter algorithm is stronger than my mind. The dating apps have at times been stronger than my mind. The search algorithm is stronger than my mind. The way in which my mind has been manipulated by algorithms is something that I'm only beginning to be aware of recently in a way that I hadn't appreciated before, where I started to consider way much thought. I realized it was from something else or something else via the medium of a ranking algorithm that decided which pixels of light to feed. I knew this kind of intellectually, right? We all know, oh yeah, Facebook social media feed, it's addictive, Instagram, it's addictive, TikTok, it's addictive. But when you step back and look at the kind of set of beliefs that you're so sure about, and then consider which ones were put there by my parents, which ones were put there by my friends, which ones were put there by my colleagues, which ones were put there by algorithms, I started to realize that the people physically around me occupying a smaller and smaller space of the set of ideas that I truly believe in, and the people digitally around me via these algorithms, whether it be YouTube or Twitter or TikTok, which are the algorithms I'm most submitted to at the moment. Those are the ones that are filling up my worldview much more rapidly than the people who physically spend time there. And I think I fully understand why the YouTube algorithm rewards high quality, memorable, repeatable content with different perspectives. Because it is a platform for people to tell stories in a tribal context, person to person, campfire vibes, but in a world where we don't have campfires and we don't have shared storytelling, we don't have evenings under the stars where people are discussing things, the ability to sit and watch two people have a real conversation is increasingly scarce. I imagine in tribal context you would have the elders and the warriors and the healers kind of discussing things at length, and that information transfer from old to young, from experienced to energetic, from this flow of energy from generation to generation. It couldn't be done in short form, it had to be done in long form discussion. And that in some way probably the most humane algorithm in terms of the content it incentivizes and the content that gets rewarded. Is YouTube. And in this world of trying to be a kind of digital samurai, I've learned the dagger, which is Twitter. To keep stabbing things, quick points, quick ideas, load them into your head as quickly as possible. But to have a more complete picture of myself built up, somebody would need to watch my YouTube. And then the important kind of learning there is it's not even about myself, putting myself into other people's heads, but trying to share shortcuts. So one way I like to describe capitalism is it's a giant game of snakes and ladders. And as you're walking along through your teenage years, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, there will be times when you look back where you know you walked past a ladder. There was that investment you could have made, that job you could have taken, that partnership you could have worked on. And there will be snakes, some of which you will experience, which will be a medical bill, or your car breaking, or going bankrupt, and the snake takes you right the way back down the wealth spectrum. And there will be this kind of set of opportunities and set of disastrous consequences. And some of those things you'll skip, and some of those things you'll smash into. I mean, certainly we've all had that experience of nearly getting hit by a car or nearly crashing. We've all had that experience of a friend making an investment we didn't, or a friend joining something we didn't, or a friend doing something we didn't, and it working out better for them and them getting ahead of us. And that can be viewed through two lenses of just happy for them, but pissed off at yourself. And so I think the best podcasts, the best discussions, the best interviews, the best interactions are leaving maps for people who are on a quest. Now, for those who are not on a quest, if you're not trying to start a business, or you're not trying to join a startup, or you're not trying to leave your job, you're looking at those who are going on quests. You're thinking about maybe going on your own quest, but you're not yet started on your own quest. And I think that start is always like when you do something different from what you've been doing before, whether it's joining a crazy organization, or trying to start any kind of side business, or building anything on the internet that makes you feel empowered instead of you being subjugated. When the balance shifts from me consuming YouTube to me changing YouTube, if that ever happens, and whether I care about that platform or not, it's more a case of if the amount of content I consume is more than the amount of content I create, that's a choice. If I'm spending 6 hours a week creating content on YouTube, but 30 hours a week consuming it, I think that balance is too far the wrong way. I want to shift that to maybe 10 or 15 hours of creating things, and tend to, maybe a 50-50 is a good start. I think, how can I create as much as I listen and receive? And I think the only way to do that is to start interviewing people, because I don't think I want to get into the editing game. I don't enjoy that. I don't enjoy cutting things. I don't enjoy the process of refining great video. And I really admire people who do that, but that's not what I want to be doing with my time. Most of my time I want to be designing or exploring nature. But I think I have had some pretty incredible discussions with people that I like to share or would. And so I think the next phase for me is getting the right mic set up, getting the right portable podcasting set up, and sitting down with people wherever they're at and just getting after it. So that's the next thing for me to research, is how do I have a couple of minimal microphones that are aesthetic, wireless, simple, and a good enough camera and then start interviewing people the way I think I would interview people. So yeah, we'll go from there. See what happens. And I want the background to be different every time. I think the idea of a podcasting studio is incredible, and people set it up so they can churn through it, but visually that's very disinteresting to me. Like, I hope you are enjoying this setting right now. This is something that I've kind of framed. I spent a long time this morning looking around for somewhere that had a good frame. I think this is an interesting one. My hope is that my personal content will be like Peter Zeihan with better framing. That I'll be sharing something that hasn't been as clearly shared before, like he does. But I'll be trying to frame it in a beautiful place, wherever I can, or at least with something interesting. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this up, see how the audio is again, and every day I'm trying kind of different combinations and buying different tools, and it's going to get better and better.